Because he's unpassive.
I stay at the top. I'm not moving, going anywhere else. At the top.
On the top.
Yes.
Working on another top.
Yes.
Never go.
Queen Kanla.
Recording in progress.
Already?
Here, Queen Dr. Benny. All right, looks like we are about to start.
Okay, so who is leading today? Where is...
I guess it's going to be you, because other than you, let's see, Queen Yvonne is not yet in.
I think Queen Yvonne is under the weather, I thought.
Oh, okay, so maybe it's going to be Queen Lerato then?
No, it's Dr. D.
Oh,
But
awesome.
where is Dr. P? Yeah, I thought she was gonna do the our signature tune. Okay. All right. I see there's a recording in progress. We're still making fun, no?
All right. Peace, no holy, plenty a lot of love to all our queens and all our kings in the house on this wonderful Sunday. I think this is the last Sunday of August, and I do hope and trust that everybody happy, especially with our own news that has been going on, that it's going to be a September to remember. All right, wonderful. And so at this time, we are just going to get right into our fantastic, fantabulous, wonderful, awesome, auspicious program that we have here with our wonderful queens and kings. And so without any further ado, we are going to move right into the wonderful In It to Win It video that was made available to us by our international recording singing artist, none other than Queen Lerato Shadare. And you know, she's a little bit under the weather, I think, or she's traveling, one out of them. So therefore, we're just going to ask you all to pray for Queen Lerato Shadare and of course Queen Yvonne. One of them is under the weather, one of them is traveling. Don't know which one it is. It doesn't matter. Pray for two of them.
Queen Lerato is traveling, and
They say pray for two of them. Pray for two of them. Pray for both of them too. All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Irene. And I know you're not in the dream, but you're dreaming. All right, wonderful. And so, as I said, without any further ado, it is going to be none other than our signature tune, which is In It to Win It. Take a look. next up is on passive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Lerato Shadare. Really appreciate. And now moving into more of the program, we are now going to switch things over to Queen Irene. Over to you, Queen Irene.
Woo! Thank you, Dr. D. Dr. D, you look younger today, 10 years younger. All right, I'll keep that comment to myself. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Sunday to every one of us. You know, we're just going to thank God for sustaining us thus far. We are all here alive, looking fantabulous, everyone smiling. You know, this is so much blessing because I'm sure there are many people who wanted to see this day and they did not. And so who are we that God has given us that chance? So we should be happy and just enjoy and make the best out of it. All right. So, well, that's me. That's what I'm doing. Smiling, enjoying it, getting the best out of it, thanking God for everything. So it's another Sunday. See, when I miss a Sunday when I'm not here, it feels like it's a month. It feels like it's been so long since I last saw you guys. And I always look forward to this hour on Sunday. My family knows when I get off from church, I don't even, when they say amen, I get out and I'm going to my car. I don't have time to hang around and converse with people because I'll be late. So that's how my Sundays have been for, I don't know, how many years? 4 or 5 years. Always looking forward to meet this global family here. So, we are here knowing everybody, enjoying everybody, and getting our minds ready for what is going to come, what is going to get our lives much better. And as we prepare for that, we need a lot of support. So we have to be mentally prepared. So we're going to start first with, you know, that preparation. Preparing for today and for the future. And no one else but our very Dr. D is going to give us that preparation today and the future. We know how he has been so involved. And wow, what a privilege. So, Dr. D, over to you.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Irene. Really appreciate. Everyone, thank you all very much. All the queens and kings in the house. Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to everyone, everybody. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much, Queen Irene. Really appreciate. Now, I'm going to deal with a topic in this mindset because mindset is very important. As I say over and over again, mindset is what covers everything that you have to deal with in life. And one of the things that you have to deal with in life is actually depression. Oh my goodness. Yes, I did say it. Depression. Depression is one of the things that we all deal with because of things that happen to us and things that happen with us and things that happen around us and things that happen for us and things that happen against us. It is all brings about, some of them brings about depression. And so we get into 3 modes. Is either a faith mode, or we get into a fight mode, or we get into a flight mode. One of these 3 modes we are going to get into anytime when we are experiencing depression. And so therefore, let us quickly look at Matthew, because Matthew have something to say to us in respective to where depression is concerned. And I think in the New King James Version, this is actually Jesus speaking. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, because I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burdens is light. If you ever notice how an ox, when an ox is pulling, and it's more than one ox, maybe at least let us put it at two. Two ox is pulling some burdens or some weight or some plow behind them. The stronger ox always get the brunt of the pulling, the stronger ox. And so there's no doubt about it that Jesus Christ is the stronger ox of us too. And so he will always be pulling most of our burdens. He did not bring burdens on us. No. He's here to lift the burdens. He's here to relieve us of our burdens, not to give us burdens. In broad strokes, many people suffer from depression. Can find hope in biblical foundations. You can also find stories of the Bible where certain people experience depression. We have Moses, we have David, and that is why when David was going through his depression, he had to write or penned Psalm 51. Right? And Job, don't even mention Job. Job went through a plethora of depressions. His whole family died. All of his possession was just gone in the twinkling of an eye. And so Bible characters met with depression. But in the final analysis, when they all just hold on to the never-changing hand of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we recognize that those depression just move away. And so we have hope in God. God encourages us to call upon him in the day of trouble. I will deliver you. Psalms 50 and verse 15. Hopelessness is one of the hallmarks, symptoms of depression. Do we have hope? Is there hope in what we are doing? Do we have hope in what we are about? Do we have hope? And yes, there is hope as long as you put God first. The grace of God in Jesus Christ is the sum of all hope. Colossians 1:5 and to 6, right? Paul, a man who had more than his share of tribulation and suffering, proclaimed in 2 Corinthians 1 and verse 10, it says, we have placed our hope in him that will deliver us again and again and again. Because look at the children of Israel when they were exiting, when they were exodusing from none other than Egypt. And when they reached the Red Sea in front of them, Pharaoh and his army behind them. And it so happens that it was none other than God's deliverance again that delivered them out of the hands of Pharaoh. And so, because God delivered them out of the hand of Pharaoh, God can do it again. And he did do it again, and many times again in the wilderness. God delivered them again and again from serpents, from starvation, from thirst, from all sorts of things. He delivered them again and again. And so the same God that delivered them again and again will deliver you. Strategies for dealing with depression. Here are some practical strategies for helping others who are facing depression. However, never assume there are no medical issues that need attention. Describe the experience. Ask people to describe their experience of depression in vivid detail. People are different, so depression comes in many shapes, in many sizes. Identify the cause. Depression often comes not just something we have, it is something we do. Invite people to examine their own heart with this question. If your depression could speak, what would it say? What does it say about you, to others, to God? Depression is an active experience and can result from many sources other than psychological. Guilt due to unconfessed sins, false guilt, misplaced shame, ungodly fear, suppressed bitterness or hatred, hopeless grieving, and unbiblical expectations. Think about those. If those identify your causes, then you can move forward. Read and observe scripture. Ask people with whom you work to study Psalms 42 to 43. That's Psalms chapter 42 and Psalms chapter 43. How does the psalmist address God? What does he preach to himself? Look at your lifestyle. Evaluate and provide recommendations for lifestyle problems such as overworking, lack of exercise, sleep difficulties, procrastination, unresolved stressors, absence of spiritual discipline. Look at your lifestyle. Act on the truth. Those who seek help first must accept the challenge of faithful obedience. Even though we do not feel like it and are skeptical that anything we will make a difference, it's important to have faith. Also, explain that progress out of the pit is step by step, bit by bit. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Small, practical, consistent faith-based change occurs in the details. Resolve conflicts. Deal with troubled relationship, past or present. We should show active love for God and others. Love for God and others is essential because all at some time or another find themselves sucked into the vortex of morbid self-involvement, which keeps us from following the heavenly prescription given by the great physician, the medicine that many need above all else. And that is found in Matthew 22, 36 to 40. Matthew 26, 32 to 40. When we begin to love God with all our heart, all our soul, all our mind, all our strength, and demonstrate love to others, we find true hope in God's active love. Stop feeling self-pity. Stop having grudge for others and love everyone. Love. That's all it takes, really and truly. When we love in spite of, who the person are, what the person did to you or did not do to you, what the person said to you or did not say to you. That is of great, great consequence to our development. And so let us love. Let us love each other. Because as I always say and will always say, life is 20% of what happens to you and 80% of how you respond. And so let us respond in love more than in bickering, more than in hatred, more than in cruelty, more than in vexation. Let us respond in love more than anything else when anything comes to us. Because the only way you and I will have testimonies is when we have tests. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. The only way you and I can have testimonies is when you and I have tests. And so don't belittle, don't be aggressive towards tests. Tests is what help to make us strong. Use those stones that are hurled at you as stepping stones. Because if the mountain is smooth, it will be more difficult to climb. Let us fully understand that. And so when you come up on the rough side of the mountain, it is a much better climb. And of course, an easier climb when the mountain is rough. So remember, as I said, life is 20% of what happens to you and 80% of how you respond. Let us start responding in love. Let us start responding in forgiveness. Because really and truly, that is the best way to overcome depression. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And at this time, I'm going to hand you back over to the one and only, sweet, lovely, adorable, wonderful, Bunununus, Queen Irene. Over to you.
Oh my God. Wow. All right. Wow, is what I can say. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Derek. I knew it. I knew you were gonna hit it, nail it, and you just did. There are a lot of things that popped up in that presentations, but I'm not gonna go over them because we were all listening, and we also have that opportunity to go back and replay this recording and listen to it over and over and over again. So we have it with us. Thank you, Dr. Derek. That was an eye-opener. And depression, that is a very sensitive and important issue that we really need to address, because a lot is going on in our day-to-day life today. So many people depressed one way or another, you know, and like he said, depression is not what we have, but what we do. So examine or look at your lifestyle. So nobody was born with depression. You know, depression is what we do. It is not what we have. It's not like you were given that, no. And so he asked the question, if your depression can speak, what will it say? What will it say? What happened that you are depressed? So if your depression can speak, what will it say? All right. Those were the two things that really took me to a different level. we have the opportunity to go back and replay this recording and just listen to it. Listen to it and see if you can address your issues if you think you're depressed. If you think you're depressed. It's rather unfortunate that even this depression is even happening to our young ones who have not even enjoyed life, who are still young, who have a lot of life ahead of them, and they're depressed. And, please don't let anything bother you. Just love. Just love, okay? Just love. All right, time is money. And so we're not going to spend time babbling, and because I don't know, I have a lot to say and I just don't even know how to put it together, because every time I sit, I just wonder what will happen to my grandkids and my great grandkids, what their world will look like when we are already seeing what is going on today. All right, that's food for thought. All right, we're going to go to what we're here for today. We're going to listen to our sister. We have been following the presentations that she is doing. And I think today is part 4. I can't remember. My phone is acting up. But we are ready. And please get your pens and papers, because when you listen, you retain some. When you write, you retain even more. And then, of course, we have the option to go back and listen because this is recorded. But sometimes you might write some of those things and meditate on before you even go to listen. So when you're listening this time, to understand the details. So we are going to call on no one else but our very own sister, Queen Kanla. Over to you, Queen Kanla.
Hello, 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 everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome. Glad that you're all here. And oh my God, I am just so excited listening to Dr. Derek. And I mean, it's like some of the things Dr. Derek just said was like leading me into our conversation, which always does. I mean, you just repeated one thing that I also wrote down, which he said, which would be familiar to my series, right? You said what Dr. Derek said, that depression is what we do, not what we have, meaning we were not born with depression.
Amen.
Does that sound familiar, like what I've been saying with unconscious bias?
Yep.
We were not born with unconscious bias. We were born pure. And Dr. Derek just talked about love. The Bible scriptures telling us, love God and love yourself and your neighbor with all your heart, with all your strength. We were born with love, God's love, our parents' love, pure. And yet, somehow, from childhood and by the time we become adults, something happens in between. And what happens? We grow up and we pick up all these other life experiences with us, and it shapes who we are and what we do. And which brings us to what Dr. Derek said, what we do. And then some of us get into depression. Some of us find a way to get out. Some of us live with unconscious bias. Some of us find a way to get out of it. But again, none of these things exist in a vacuum. They are not isolated. They are all connected together. And which brings me to what I am going to have us in our conversation today is we are going to get into the intersectionality, the interception of unconscious bias and other aspects of life. I want us to be able to understand as well as be able to appreciate how all of these life's experiences come together. They don't live in isolation. And it is all because of what we do. None of us were born with it. So permit me at this time to share my screen. Just bear with me. And Queen Irene, please let me know when it comes on.
It's coming.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see from current slide. Okay, share my slide. Mm-hmm. And please, as we get into the presentation for today, we will be able to share some of our individual experiences. And feel free, have something to share with us, raise your hand, share. If you feel more comfortable writing it in the chat, please go ahead and write it in the chat, because we will be able to learn from each other's experiences. It is what makes us unique, what makes us different. Okay, how is it now?
Good.
Presenter, okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so today, the black bar at the top, I hope it's not covering a lot of the stuff. Let me try to move this down. Okay. So like I said, our series for today, we are going to get into the intersectionality of unconscious bias, which means we just want to look at how unconscious bias intersects, overlaps with other aspects of our life. And when I talk about other aspects of our life, what I'm referring to is the social part of our life, as well as we have the political or the socioeconomic. But in the context of unconscious bias, we are going to dwell more on the social, because it relates more with our business and why we are here on this webinar. So if there is anyone here who has a question about the definition or your understanding of unconscious bias, please let us know, because I am going on the understanding and the assumption that we've been following the series and we all know all of that. So I'm not going to dwell more again on the basics of unconscious bias, but rather just go straight into intersectionality. But if for any reason you need some refresher, this slide should be able to give you an insight of what we are talking about. Bias. There are those behaviors. There are those unconscious attitudes that we have, the tendencies that we show, whether it be it within our families, at work, or in our business places. Those things come with us. They are automatic stereotypes that we tend to show, we carry with them, and they shape the decisions we make in our lives. And maybe other decisions that are made in our work environment that also impact us. So it is both ways. Now, with the understanding that unconscious bias has many different aspects. In series 2, we looked at the systems, how the systems are also in a way play a very central role in shaping some of the unconscious biases that we have. And then we also looked at the root cause of our unconscious bias, which is our human brains. But then it is shaped by our life experiences, the blueprints of our life, what we do, where we were raised, who we are, our identity, diversity, equity, inclusion, our occupation, our culture, all of these things, they all intersect with each other. You can see this slide giving you just a visual view of the intersectionality when we talk about unconscious bias. All these things intersect at some point in time. None functions or operates in isolation. And so what then is intersectionality? The term was first coined by Kimberly Williams Crenshaw in 1989. And this concept was coined during the era of racial discrimination on behalf of Black women. But today, it has evolved and it is now being used in the different frameworks, whether it's political, whether it's social. It fits very well because as a human being, we are not a monolith. It's not a one size fits all. There are no two persons that are exactly the same. God made us in his image, each person unique. You have your traits, you have your character. Even if it's your physical appearance, your being, it is unique to you. Even identical twins, yes, they may have been birthed by the same mother from the same womb or non-identical, but yet they are still different. Sometimes they come out with different genders, different personalities. And so intersectionality is able to see, help us see deeper through all of these aspects, our race, gender, class, disability, age, how it creates that unique experience that is only specific to you. And with that, it leads to either you being able to have some privileges or you being able to suffer discrimination, oppression. Not because, again, it is what you are, but because of these things that are in place. The system, the information, your upbringing, the awareness. So, sorry, my slide just ran back one step. Okay, let me go. So the next slide talks about just reminding us how this is also interrelated with diversity, inclusion, equity. Again, bear with me, you know, we have had extensive conversations about diversity, inclusion. Intersectionality also is a very key factor when we discuss that. And it also transcends into unconscious bias because we cannot talk about these things without how they overlap with each other. And the more they overlap with each other, the tendency is they create or they reveal more complexities for us, for each individual. Again, in the context of based on your background, your culture, your gender, your religion, right? All of these things impact you. That framework that you have that is so unique to you. it overlaps with each other, and it shapes your unconscious bias. And then sometimes you express this unknowingly. And for those who face discrimination or communities of minority, the complexities even become more dire, or the oppression may become even more intense. Meanwhile, on the other hand, those who do not face it, they enjoy privileges. And they don't seem to recognize that their actions, the stereotypes that have been created, are creating difficulties for other people and groups of minorities. And that is what makes each person's experience so unique, so different, and why it is always prudent never to dismiss someone else's experience, because it is not your experience. Do not rush to assume or conclude on a subject when you have not done thorough investigation or listened to the other person, or you have not had the opportunity to be open-minded to understand where they are coming from and why. Because that framework of theirs is theirs alone, it's not yours. You have not been open to those experiences. Once you are quick to do that, then your unconscious bias sets in. And you fail to appreciate and understand that as a human being, as a person, you have this multiple framework that overlap each other. And no one single thing defines a human being. And so hopefully our series has been bringing the awareness, the information to you to educate ourselves on the unconscious bias, what it is, the different types, the system, how it works, how to identify it, where you are, self-reflections, look at yourself, be patient, listen to others, and know what it is, and be able to also stand up for others when you see someone expressing it, or someone who is not able to defend themselves when they find themselves in a situation where they are facing unconscious bias. Don't be a bystander. And we will continue sharing this information so that we learn more and we educate ourselves even deeper. We had talked about the systems. The systems are structured in such a way that it intersects, it overlaps with all our social aspects or our social framework. Or if it's the political, it all intersects. And it shapes who we are. It shapes your unconscious bias, because that is something the system is teaching you, whether it's through the school system, whether it's through the justice system, whether it's through the family unit, your siblings, your interactions, your parents, your friends. You know how the saying goes, sometimes they say, show me your friends and I can tell who you are. If the people you interact with are those that shape your biases to be negative and impact other people or target other people of minority, then that is what you are going to express in your life. and is going to be detrimental to the person who is going to be affected or impacted by that. But if your circle of friends are those that can see, can be able to have that conversation, understand, help you identify it when you find yourself in it, then you become a more better human being, and you can be able to express that awareness, that love, that care, that support, that self-check to yourself, and make sure that you do not hurt somebody else by your own biases. Because again, it is only what you perceive. It is only to you and not to them. And so the prudent thing is, it will continue to shape your perceptions, whether you like it or not. It will continue to shape your behaviors, whether you like it or not. Consciously or unconsciously, intentional or not, in some way, this intersectional framework of our social life, our social being, our social aspects go a long way to shape the stereotypes that we carry. And it can either deepen the biases that we have, or it will help us to be able to identify them and work on them and be more better. And especially if we look at it through the lens of the other person, their identity, inclusion, including them in whatever we do or what we see. So let us try to bring this to more realistic conversation, reflective discussion among ourselves at this point in time. And please, this is where I will ask for your interaction, because your experiences is going to help others learn or understand better and be able to identify where unconscious bias come and how our social aspects intersect and impact or influences us. So I will begin with the first example of workplace policy. We are here because of our business. Thanks to our CEO, Mr. Ash Mofare, our business on passive while we wait for the next step. Dr. Derek talked of On News 11, which is up, and September is going to be a September with a difference. We look forward to it. Now, we are already thinking, what will those workplace policies be? What is going to be new that we are excited and looking forward to? Are we still going to hold on to some of those biases that we've been holding on as of now? Or are we going to look forward to this new step, to this new direction, and join our CEO in moving forward for us to realize this, our shared dream together, for us to stay in this commitment together? And for each one of us, it's going to be different. Because let's use the example of gender pay gap. In our workplaces, we know and we have experienced gender pay gap between men, women, white, Black, and people of minority. We know that because these are statistics, it's a fact. Gender pay gap at workplaces in corporate or in businesses. Men are paid higher than women. All right, that is established. We pick up the next intersectionality of that and we dig deeper, right? Men are paid higher than women. We go deeper. White men are paid higher than any other gender. And if we dig deeper, we realize that white women are paid higher than Blacks and other people of minority. If we dig deeper, we see that Asians are paid higher than Black women and other people of minorities. And then if we dig deeper, we will see that Black women are the lowest paid in comparison of that gender pay gap. So now, how does intersectionality compound this complexity? Black woman, gender, woman, race, Black, female, professionalism. It shapes how your pay is going to be in the workplace. These things play a role and they make it even more complex, irrespective of the profession that you are. If you are an engineer, it's going to be the same. You are a medical doctor, it's going to be the same. You are a teacher, it's going to be the same. You work in corporate America, it's going to be the same because the policies, they follow the same policies. But you see that one particular group or one particular framework impacts this particular group way more than the other. Why? Because in terms of diversity, inclusion, and equity, it only addresses race and gender. But when you look at the intersectionality, diversity, inclusion, equity tends to forget those other aspects when you look deeper in the gender pay gap. Now, let's look at hiring and promotion as well. Maybe if you have experience hiring and promotion, again, when you put on the applications at your job for work, there is a preference in terms of hiring, depending on the company, which it is their right. But then where the bias and the discrimination comes in is when they fail to see that everyone, the fairness to look at every aspect of every individual prospective candidate. A male applying for a job and how fast they rise to higher promotions in businesses or in corporate world is way higher than women in general. And when you go down again, looking at another intersectionality frame of, okay, yes, men do, we understand that, but is it only because they are the only ones qualified that tend to get quick promotions to wherever they go? That is not entirely true. Why is it so difficult for women, qualified women, intelligent women who work twice as hard as their male counterparts, do not get hired into those executive positions? Because The policies are there through the system that is in play that favors the privileges more to men and then oppresses the women or limits the ability, the skill at which women can progress fairly with men. And if you go down again or you dig deeper, you look at, okay, even for women who make it to the top, right? What percentage comes from, let's say, the Asians or Mexicans or Indians versus Blacks, women? And why? Again, because of that additional intersectionality of those unique frameworks that are so unique to the Black woman or people of minority. Or we talk about the homophobia that we do experience about Muslims and so I'm pulling a blank. Yes, let me just the homophobia that we all experience in one shape, form, or another. Whether it's Muslims, whether it's Asians, or whether it's even us, the Blacks, or the Africans. No one community is exempt. Although some communities experience it a lot more at a greater scale than others. Why? Because we can clearly see that unconscious bias is there. And look at the targeted group. Women always tend to suffer more. Why is it that all the time or most of the time, those that we always find that suffer the most from that are women? Again, we can see the intersectionality. That is with promotion. That is with hiring. That is with pay gap. All because of the policies, all because of the system. Was the system like that from the origins? No. It was built, it was created by someone. And now we are all through the system. We are taught unconsciously or consciously in some aspects, and we express that unconscious bias to fellow individual, one another. Let's look at the example of social assumptions. Tattoos. How many of us are quick to judge someone when by the tattoos they have on their bodies? Does it mean everyone that has a tattoo is bad? I'll share a story. Even back home, let me use where my own hometown or country. We know in Africa, across the continent of Africa and in Cameroon, our grandparents and parents, we used to have this where they will put some marks on their body. And even till today, we see that in our Muslim brothers and sisters, where you have all these markings, all these drawings. Our grandparents or grandmothers, it used to be a fashion thing for them to decorate their jaws or maybe put something on them. But to us, it was part of our culture, and it is still part of our culture. We do not judge them by having those tattoos. But why is it that in some contexts, right here in America where we are quick to judge people based on their tattoos? Unconscious bias. You have not taken the time to know them better, to understand them better before you draw your conclusions. You're going with what the community, the society, what you are being fed. Beauty, women, colored hair, or men, colored hair. Personally, I love gold to be on my hair. Some like other bright colors, blue, pink, green, you see them. Yes, it is their choice, but do not use that to judge them based on your own blueprint, based on your own background, that you are expressing unconscious bias. Rather, understand them, seek to know before you draw your conclusions. And in the same way, look at us, Africans or Blacks with our braids, right? The curiosity that is always there when we wear our braids. But guess what? Corporate America has decided and made the judgment that braids on Black women or Blacks is not wholly yet, 100% yet accepted in the corporate world. That's why we still have to stretch our hair. We still have to do all the decoration. You still have to look how they want us to present, but not our natural being, not who we truly identify to be. Why? Unconscious bias. The system is there, trying to control, trying to shape you, trying to shape your mind, trying to shape who you need to be. Because these things intersect. If we need to earn a living, we need to work. And if we need to work, we need to work in a corporate world or in the businesses or offices. And if we need to be there, then we need to follow the rules. So you need to intersect. So that intersectionality, if your employer understands you as an individual with your diversity, inclusion, equity, and digs deeper into that intersectionality of truly who you are, and not only look at the surface of your culture, your gender, but looks at what makes you who you are, then you stand a better chance of fair representation of truly who you are and succeeding in what you need to do in your job, because you truly be yourself and you truly are represented, and it's going to be fair, not only to you, but to everyone. I mean, we can apply that when it comes to food, culture, dance, music, our language, all of that. If we want to use age, how many young, the young generation right now who are just impatient with our parents at home because of technology? We are quick to judge them. Oh, my mother she cannot even learn. That is your young son or your young daughter telling you that. Is it truly that you cannot learn, or is just that they don't have the patience to teach you, or they don't have the understanding to try to understand what best approach they can use to be able to help you learn and understand the technology? I believe if they come to understand what would be the best approach, because there is always one thing that will work better for you. Since it is not a one-size-fits-all, everybody doesn't learn in the same way, not at the same speed, but yes, you have the capacity to learn. That will just be something great. So that concept will apply in other examples that I've listed on this slide when it comes to housing, discrimination, immigration, or even the media stereotype. So yes, we can apply this looking at each scenario, life experience, and then we can dig deeper and then be able to understand each person as a unique human being and be able to have a fair representation and inclusiveness into our businesses, into our lives, into our families. And that is what makes us more better human beings. And that is what makes us actually appreciate God's love, because each of us are made in God's image and love. So yes, let me wait at this point and listen. I see Brother Pastor Shegun, your hand is up. Let me hear what you have to say, and then please, other leaders, Queen Irene and Dr. Benny, help me, since I cannot see from my end if any hands are raised. Over to you. Let me share what you have to share.
Hi, good afternoon, Sister Kanla. Thank you for the awesome presentation, the series of them that we've been going through. First, I want to thank everyone that's in this webinar, starting from the graders to the moderators and the coordinators of the program, the speaker for the mindset, Dr. Derek. Just want to give you kudos for your presentation. I raised my hand because you asked a question regarding wage discrimination. When did it start? Is it like that originally, or was it a recent development? Also about judging people based on their personal traits. Number one, this is my conviction. The issue of wage and gender discrimination, I think it's original. I don't think it's really developed. So we have these traits because of how we grow up, what we learn in different societies, different groups, as to say, oh, man goes out to kill the animal, do the farming, the woman is home raising the kids, which is synonymous in all society. As society grew, and probably in our religion too, because if you look in Christianity, man was created and the woman was created as a self-made. Mm-hmm. That creates in the mindset that, oh, the man is the one who has a higher hand, who should earn more to run his family, to take care of everything. If the woman is an homemaker. So that sits there as from where, our thought pattern and our biases comes from. But as society grew, let me just wrap that up. As society grew, society moved from one man working and the woman sitting home with the kids, which is a job, no doubt about that. So now the employer is saying if a woman chooses to work because she's single and the man is working, obviously the man that's working that will take care of the woman at home and the children ought to earn more. So it became like a stereotype in most societies, including China, including, in most Arabic world, where it's not even allowed for the women to go to school, talk less, have education, and have a career job. Mm-hmm. So those stereotypes is what caused our mindset to believe that the man should earn more. But then society developed, and now we have homes where the two people are working 8 hours, doing the same job. So we are asking ourselves, so this is a recent development, we are asking ourselves, is it fair that I put in 8 hours as an engineer, a computer engineer, and my colleague put 8 hours computer engineer, but she pays 78 cents to a dollar, mm-hmm. what I get paid. Yeah. So, and that's why we have to put it in the right perspective. It's a new development. I don't bash it. I think we should address it, but in the original, our bias, our unconscious bias grew from the original of how we grew up. Dad should earn more money than mom. You know, that should, and it also shows, I don't know about you, no matter how much you make as a woman, how much your husband make as a woman, you will still want his money. That's just natural.
Yes.
So because that's the original content. You know, it's like, okay, you pay this, or you better pay this too. You better pay this. Wait, don't we have the same equal amount of money? No, that's not how to run a home. The woman still owns all the money somehow, but that's just on their side. I think it's that original concept that creates our unconscious bias, and it goes to the corporate world. And now we are challenging our thought pattern that, wait,
correct.
When women were homekeepers and men were doing all the work, okay, it worked because the man has to earn more to take care of the family, and the woman in the workplace is just an addition to the income of the man. But not as society is the way it is, right? We have several millions of single women who are raising children. Should this remain? I think it's the right mindset. So those who bash, this theory of inclusion and equity and fairness, they want to go take us back to the original, forgetting that society has developed to where we have to address this issue. That the woman that plays soccer could break our knee like a man, or to be paid the same amount, because we're not thinking of all these women in the field. They're not just homemakers; they're professional footballers, they're professional engineers, they are medical doctors.
Correct.
That's why I think it's a progressive thing, and people shouldn't go against it. That's regarding I just want to say, I think it's original. I think it's not a new development. What is new is that society has changed, and we have to address that change by paying people equally for what they do. And the second point, quickly, is when you said the personal traits on the workplace. I think equity should mean that if I'm African, right?
Yes.
And I wear my I call it dada, what they call braids now. My brother was born, he had that hair like that. He didn't have to do it. If I wear my hair that they call kinky, that they give all kinds of names to, right?
Yeah.
It's my hair. That's how I'm made. That's my race.
Yes.
If I choose to just pick it a little bit, oil it, and make it look neat,
correct.
I shouldn't be required to get a crew cut.
Correct.
Like a white person who would have a crew cut. If I'm a woman, I should be expected to straighten my hair to look like like a white woman's hair. I think those are shouldn't be personal trait, but should be race, religion, and culture. And society, at least in the West, are realizing this is important, and they are moving towards that. All the people that I know at work who are women, who are African, Ethiopian, they have beautiful braids, and people comment them. They know you can't even go there because their race, their culture, possibly their religion. Even women today who wear, I forgot the name now, the Muslim Punjab, always saying is, hey,
hijab.
I need to see your face. Hijab.
Yeah,
I need to see your face so I know you are responding to what I'm saying. The argument around the world is not to say, oh, you can't wear hijab. It's to say, don't cover your face because we can't communicate if your face is covered.
Correct.
Secondly, I don't know if it's you. I know your voice, but in the age of AI, how am I sure I'm talking to you?
Correct.
So the argument wasn't against that wearing hijab. Is to say, let's just see your face because we communicate with face. I want to see how you are reacting to me, how I'm reacting to you. That's the issue. So it's more of not a personal trait, but based on your race. We know you're an African woman, and so your hair won't be straight like a white woman. We know that your culture requires that braid is a way of beauty. It's in the Bible. And we know that your religion requires you to wear, hijab. Just wanted to say, yeah, these are original things. And, what DVI should emphasize is the race, religion, and culture. Because that's what shapes our life. And we can't hide from it to please the Anglo-Saxon culture, the Anglo-Saxon system. And I think that's the battle of our life that we are facing right now, especially in America, and eventually around the world. Again, thank you for your presentation and all your academic research.
Thank you. I mean, you are really correct. You summarized it well, and all the more reason why I said this is more of bringing awareness, educating, let us know that that is what it is, the progress that has been made so far. Yes, it is good, but we still have a long way to go. But if we do not recognize this, where we are, then you will not even know, because Bro Shaggy, you, me, only a few of us, not many people will be able to dissect it the way you just did, which is good. And the more many of us get to understand that this is where we are, the progress and the systems in place, they are not perfect, but we are making progress. But you need to be aware, so you become an advocate, or you become part of that evolution. But if you are not aware, if you are not educated, then you will not even know. You will not even know the differences. And you will not even come to understand that all of these things are interconnected with each other. None happens in isolation. Not at all. So thank you so much. Yes, I agree. Hopefully there will come a time when we talk of DEI, we can be able to be more detailed and be inclusive with all of those additional aspects. Because as of now, when we talk of DEI, it's only the D that has really, I can say 60, 70, or 80% that has been achieved. The inclusion, we still have a very long way to go when it comes to the inclusion. Equity, we still have a long way to go when it comes to the equity. And why? What is holding us back? It's because of this. Whether originally it was because of the bias, or whether originally it came from our shared experiences, whatever it is that shaped it, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be an ongoing process for all of us to continue. But until we are able to get to that point where we can overcome the bias, we can overcome all these other intersectionality that we face, and be able to effectively apply diversity, inclusion, and equity to everybody across the board, then it will be a more better place, whether it's our work environment, corporate world, or individual businesses. And I mean, that is the step or the progress where we are. So thank you so much, Brother Shaggy. All right. Who I saw someone else. Sorry, I cannot see the chat.
Yeah, I looked, I couldn't find any. There are no questions in the chat.
Well, at least I have something to say about the women. Something.
God, please.
Thank you. I agree with oh, by the way, greetings to my queens and kings, and just want to let you guys know, I want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing each and everyone this afternoon, evening, or morning. It all depends upon your location. King Pastor Segon, thank you so much for your answer when it comes to this women, men. Well, what I do understand, that women and men, they should be paid equally in a workplace when performing the same role, right? If you are performing the same role, why should they pay a man more than me? I will fight for that. Now, performing the same role, if you guys have the same qualifications and the skills. So the principle also refer to what? Like equal pay of equal work. So it means that we talk about the fairness and the justice, right? Compensation should reflect to the value of work, not the gender, right? No. So paying unequally is a form of what? Discrimination. I don't play with that, right? And then we talk about what? Legal and an ethical standard. So many countries have laws, right, that requires equal pay, e.g., like Equal Pay Act in the United States, beyond the legality and the fairness, as well as which it strengthens the ethical business practice. And we also talk about the morale or the workplace morale, as well as the intention, right? That when employees feel valued and fairly compensated, job satisfaction and loyalty, it increases, right?
Correct.
Well, based upon also the closing of gender pay gap, right? Historically, women have been underpaid. That pissed me off, right? I mean, if we have equal rule, you, me, and a man, and we do the same thing, why should they pay me less money than a man? Why? I can do what? Being a single mother, I take care of my children. So why should they pay me less money? I don't think they really understand. Whoever brought this information, it doesn't, I don't agree with it. I wish I was there when they were doing it, when they wrote all these policies, right? Oh, thank you. I don't think I should talk too much. But anyway, when it comes to economic benefit, now equal pay boosts the productivity. So if you pay me the same like a man, right? Do you know that I will work? It will make me smile and I'll work harder. See? Because our main goal is to make the client happy, right? Let's say being a consultant in any organization, you want the client to be happy, right? So I expect that if we have the same role, then I expect you to pay me the same like that man. Financial independence and the economic growth by allowing everyone to contribute fairly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. I appreciate that. I see Dr. D, your hand is raised. Queen Irene, your hand was also raised at some point in time. Do you want to go before Dr. D or Dr. D?
No, my hand was raised when Pastor Shage said something, but then he explained it, so I put my hand back down.
All right, over to you, Dr. D.
Peace, blessings, and enough love. For the benefit of Queen First Lady Dr. Benny and others, the job was always created with a bias. Let me say that again. Job, J-O-B, and that's why it's just over broke. Job foundation is on bias, is on the platform of bias. Job is on the structure of bias. And it will always, you could have bawl a little more, you could have cry a little more, you could have vex a little more, you could have depression over it a little more. It is always on the foundation of bias. And that is why you and I, hearing all of this information by Queen Kanla Ngeh, must leave the job and come over to business. Because there's no bias in business. If I have a McDonald's restaurant and 20 people come in the McDonald's restaurant, they're not looking around to see if it's a woman in charge or if it's a man in charge. They don't care. They want to know that you're selling burger. That's it. They want to know you're selling the burger as the McDonald's that they have up the road, round the road, in Florida, in Jamaica. They want to know it's the same McDonald's burger. That's it. So let us move from the job, which is never intended to be equal. Never intended to be equal. Because it's on the platform of a little bit above slavery. So there's no way it can be equal. Because that's the mindset of the job. Okay? And so whether you get into network marketing business, because when a woman, and that was why Avon was created in 1886, primarily because women could not own or have a business. And so that was the primary reason Avon, a network marketing, multi-level marketing business, was created so that women can have equal opportunity when it comes down to business, because business is just business.
Yeah.
Whether you're man, woman, boy, girl, pitney, it doesn't matter. Business is business. So move away from the job. Focus on network marketing, because, the traditional business is a little expensive for most people, right? Because to start a McDonald's franchise, you're talking about a minimum of $750,000 US dollars. But to start a good, legal, above board network marketing business, you can start one with as little as $50. $50. And it is good. It has no biases, because when the company said that they were going to pay you $6, it doesn't matter whether you're black, blue, pink, polka dot, or stripe. Doesn't matter if you're fat, slim, mager, big, brown, white, pink. It doesn't matter. Woman, what them call it? Bisexual, lesbian, homosexual. It doesn't matter with business. It's the same money that you are getting in business. So move away, project yourself. If you want to get away from the bias, move into business. Get involved in a business. That's what I did since 2014. So I don't have the bias. I don't have that bias. All right. Nobody tell me when to go eat. That's a bias. You tell me when to go eat. Massa, can I go use the bathroom? No, hold on. John just leave and go. Me have to wait till John for me to use the bathroom. That's bias. You're crazy. You want to go use the bathroom? No. You understand? There's so many biases in the workplace.
Yes.
That it don't stop here. And we can talk till we eyes them blue and our face pink. It's not going to stop. All right? The only way you can remove yourself from it is if you're dead or if you go look at business. All right? That is the only way you can address it. First Lady Queen, Dr. Benny, and others. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Oh, Dr. Derek, you nailed it. I mean, exactly. And that is a system. That is a system. So thank you. I don't need to add anything. Yes, I see it. Dr. Pat, your hand is raised. And Dr. Doris.
I hope there will not be a lot of background noise and I'm in and out of reception. I just want to appreciate all of you. Thank you, Dr. G, for your mindset today. Thank you, Kanla, for wrapping up our bias series. Yes, Dr. Queen Benny, I got your point. Trust me, I felt it. And all of us feel that way. And Dr. Derek just came and nailed it. I want to say that even the men that we think they have advantage, they say a bias, because if you cannot sell yourself well, I mean, in the corporate world, right? You have people in the same role in corporate, even men, they're paid different rates.
Correct.
Because one person could, that's why they always have this broad pay band. They'll say, oh, this at this position, the pay can range from 60K or 30K to 250. What does that mean, really? It's so broad. So you cannot even argue. So yes, those biases are even there, even for the men. Worse for the women, but there for the men. And these topics, I'm hoping that tomorrow, if God blesses us, and some of us open businesses, when we employ people, we should not bring these biases to our organization. Yeah, we should not. We should really, this is not only us just talking. It's a topic for us to reflect, to think. Yeah? Tomorrow you can be blessed. People are small businesses are employing people. Let's not take the biases there as well. Because you have to, like, if you write end of year appraiser, you don't sell yourself well, sorry for you. Yep. Okay? And there's somebody, maybe they did less than you, but because they could talk and articulate more than you.
Correct.
They get that bonus, they get that pay increase. So the biases are real, Dr. Benny. And even among the men in the organization, is how you present and you can articulate yourself. I used to go to meetings and somebody will say something like, I minimize it, trivialize it, right? I did not say it. They see somebody else will come and make a big noise out of nothing. And you'll be like, they're making a mountain out of a molehill. But that's what takes them to the next level. But because you're not wired that way, you'll be there walling. So, yeah, Queen Kanla, thanks for, again, bringing another insightful topic. And as I said, these topics on the Dream Team, not just for us to come and talk about, it's for us to improve our own selves. Let's face ourselves, are there some included bias that may be through our background, maybe through our upbringing, that we have, that we have not really reflected on it? Let's do that as well. And strive to be the better self of us ourselves. I just want to say thank you. People are not seeing my face. I'm on the road, and I'm even glad that I could even be this long, because we're going in and out of reception. But we went to celebrate an 80-year-old, right? So it's good to celebrate life. I love you all. I'll sit quiet for the next person to speak.
Thank you, Dr. Pat. No, you nailed it. Yeah, absolutely correct. So thank you. I mean, it was straightforward. We say it, and I totally agree. It is about the awareness. Yourself first, and then you will be able to know how to navigate the complexities that it comes with it at your job. So thank you. Over to you, Dr. Doris. Your hand is raised.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me. Thank you for the presentation, all of you, king and queens, and the cow. Love you all.
Thank you, Dr. D.
Yeah, actually, what I've seen is that we have erred from the beginning. Humanity has failed God. From the beginning, it was not so. We brought in our own ideas, and it's affecting us at the last hour. In my country, the biases against women, I will talk about that first. It was the year 19 something. They went for, they said, Beijing conference. The women came back. They started advocating for women's rights and so on. Some are good. And what they were screaming about is what men can do, women can do better. And they started. Yes. And formerly, most of the women are housewives, and some became home-based businesses. And some of us went on networking businesses. It helped me a lot. So I said, I go with Dr. Derek. I wrote under networking business. There's no biases there, you see? And it's good. Actually, I have not went after my national service and other things that I did for people and the volunteer work and so on. After that, I went into network business and I was not working for anyone. So all this bias and co, I don't know about it. I came here not to work, especially to be with my grandchildren in the US, but the plan have changed. My son and the wife got divorced because my son wanted to move to another business, and the wife said no, he doesn't like that. They were arguing, my son left and they had a divorce. So instead of me going to be with the children and the family, I have to move with my son, and now I have to work. Here, none of my certificates back from Ghana is valid. They say go back to school. Go back to school. Any mean job, they say your certification, your resume. I've never written a resume before. I don't know what a resume is. So I'm now searching online to see how it's done. Anything they say certified. My certificate is not working here, which is very much appalling. I contacted Dr. Bill Williams. His workplace is just, his office is just 8 minutes drive away from my house. And I went there, we sat down, he said, I'm a professional naturopathic doctor, but my naturopathy is not well recognized in the US. But if I want to practice, I have to go back to school. I have to get a place. I have to be satisfied. I have to be, and the money is a lot, my dear. You can't do it. And I said, I can't even do it because I don't have the money. You see? So there are so many things. And women, we can't be challenging the men. They are men from the beginning. They are the head. Allow that. Get that right so that you will have your peace. Home-based business is the best for women. I was doing that and I took care of my children. I was with them. If I will hire somebody to network with me, that is that. But I stayed home with them. I do home business. It is a lot. It goes a long way to help your family. Women should stop arguing with men, who is the head, who should do better, who should do what. Here they say men and women, they have to contribute before you eat, before you pay rent, everything you have to contribute. And somebody says the women are still looking for to get from the men. I have not experienced that things. You see? So please, we have failed God from the beginning. Women are supporters. They are to help the men. But we say we can be on top, which is failing us. You see, so many things we have put into it. When we want to go back to the Bible now, you will know that this tattoo issue is not good for Christians. It's a sin. Instead, our bodies are God's temple. We shouldn't touch it with anything. Even the white with tattoo is very nasty. I don't like to say it. Me, you see, you are red, you are color, you call us black, and you use black to paint your body. If you see some people's hand and so on, macho skin and their chest and so on, even some faces, they use it on their faces. It's nasty. Even a long hair for men, the Bible says, 1 Corinthians chapter 11 is 20 something going. They said a long hair is for women and is their beauty and glory. But if a man have a long hair, even nature sees that it's not nice. They look like mad people. And it's true. If you see a man who have a long hair, if you want to go to the Bible now, you see that we have disappointed God so much. We have caused all of this. Thank you so much. I won't go so far. Somebody should come in. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Doris. Wow. I like your perspective from the origin of the Bible. Yes, what you said, I listened, but again, I will say that what Dr. Derrick said was, and which is what I am saying, we have evolved. Things have changed. the way life has changed. It's no longer the way things were. Some of those things that are good are still good, and we maintain it. Nobody is challenging how the originality of how God created us and how life should be. But all we are saying, or what the purpose of the presentation is, the fairness, whether you are a woman or whether you are a man, irrespective of what language you speak, how your hair looks like, where you come from, your race, none of that should be a reason why you should be compensated. You should be paid less than the same person with whom you're doing the same thing, the same skills. And that is where this presentation, or where the purpose I'm trying to achieve, the awareness, some of those things. Again, we did not create them, but because of the society, the structures, they are there, and we are trying to navigate it. We are trying to live in it and make the best use of it, but while at the same time keeping those that are from the Bible, which we respect. Okay, but I know not everybody will be the same. I hear your point where some women are challenging their men. Yes, that is the case in some places. That could be a fair point of conversation or discussion, but yes, what the focus we are is in the midst of all that overlapping of all of these aspects. Can you find fairness? Can you find that in whatever we do in life, at your job, whether you are an individual business owner or you work with an employer, wherever you are? So thank you. Thank you for that feedback. We appreciate it. Queen Irene, any other hand raised or somebody?
No, I don't see any hands raised. I just want to add something. Well, I don't know. I'm still pondering on it. I know we are talking about the equality of pay at work, you know, the discrepancy between women and men, how they are paid. But there's a lot of unconscious bias going on that how do we even address that? Like, okay, the racism thing, the gender discrimination. I mean, and so much going on. How do we address that? I work in a place where, you know, they teach all these things, talk about all of this unconscious bias and everything. And it still happens, even with all the education that they, you know, people are taught all the time, reminded, so that you learn and understand them, but they still happen. Being a woman, and not just a woman, African and Black, you are definitely discriminated upon. There is this bias. How do you address that? Was that also from the beginning? Well, I mean, so that's what I'm sitting here thinking, okay. I mean, I feel like the other race looks at us Blacks as if we are harmful, as if we are I don't know, second class, or you know, and these are things that some people created it to get opportunity, or
privileges ahead of others.
over. Yeah. I'll be at work and I'm in the elevator and the elevator opens and the person of the opposite race will be scared to get in the elevator with me. Or sometimes you get in the elevator. Sometimes, I mean, you can see unconsciously they will check or panic. And then, I don't know, maybe it comes to their mind because of the train and then they'll get in. But they'll be on the other end of the elevator and you are in, I mean, we're in the same, it's like you're gonna pounce on them. I really don't want to take too much time, but my brother-in-law explained something to me at one time, and for some reason, I just see this race bias thing like what he explained. So my daughter was helping a friend to keep their dog while the friend traveled. It was a puppy, but it was a pit bull. Okay, and you know how you just looking at them, they are frightful. My daughter brings this puppy, small puppy, and I was so scared of this puppy, not because it could do anything to me, but just because it's a pit bull and it looks like that. I was scared of it. My daughter will be upstairs. If she's going downstairs with the puppy, she'll be like, Mom, we're going downstairs. And I have to like get away from her. And one day my brother-in-law told me that, sister, you know that when the officers are shooting on, I don't know if we should say this openly, on a Black person, that's how they view you, like a pit bull. They will even shoot, even when you are harmless, you don't even have a gun or anything. They will spray you because that fright is in them. And, I'm beginning to, I don't know, I'm beginning to think like that. When the elevator opens and I see somebody panic before they come in, or I get in the elevator and this person is supposed to be going to the 8th floor and they get out on the 6th floor, I'm thinking, oh, they look at me like a pit bull. I don't know. But that's
well, I think that is visual. That is your experience of really the extreme of unconscious bias right there, because they don't know what they don't know, and they only know what they've been taught or what they've been raised to know, their environment, or what they've been taught how to view you, how to perceive you, or what they know about who you are. And so that reaction is that unconscious bias coming out, and you're seeing it. Now, there is no way to end it. There is no way it's going to end, not even in our lifetime right now, because we are where that is the system. That is our community where we are right now. That is how things are done. But knowing about it, the information is what helps you to be able to be prepared, be ready, navigate it, not with fear, but navigate it like someone who knows what it is and be able to address it, or be able to do right by yourself when you see it being addressed to you, or it is affecting you or affecting another person that you want to advocate on their behalf. Because guess what? At the end of the day, if you fail, if you are aware and you see it happening to someone and you don't say something thinking that it's not going to happen to you, eventually it's going to impact you directly or indirectly.
I have a question for you, Sister Irene.
Yes, sir.
Do you smile all the time?
I do.
So somebody, the elevator opens and you are in there and you smile and they say, what floor? Do you do that? So you can hit the button for them.
Yeah.
See, because the elevator opens and I'm in already. I say, hi, good morning. But what floor? That disarms them. Even if they were brought up in an environment where a Black person has done some evil that a white person could do. I mean, crime is crime. People who are criminally minded, there's no race. But some people are raised thinking only the Black people do this, do that, so they freeze. And then you smile and say, good morning, what floor are you going? so some like Kanla is saying, you project yourself in a way to say I'm full as you are, and I'm just as harmless as you are. You know, so we're friends. Project a friendly attitude and see maybe you help them overcome their bias.
Yes.
The bias that they brought up to say, oh, if it's a black person, you know, even if it's a woman, you're gonna get raped in the elevator. Really? Really? Or they're gonna kill you and chop you? And your brother that said we look like pit bulls. I want to challenge him because where I work, and in the environment where I work, our office that sits about 300-400 people or about each floor, and I go around, I see one or two black people, and everybody interact. They go to lunch. You come to lunch today, you know, or did you bring lunch? And I say I didn't bring lunch. Boom, we jump in one of those people's car. They don't let me drive, and we'll go there. We get okay. You select where should we go today. You know, so the different environment, different kinds of people. So I don't know where you work, but it thinks that every white person that sees a black man sees us a pit bull. I don't believe that, but in some environment, maybe. But I mean, I work in an environment where, you know, there's just a good representation in the neighborhood, in the workplace, and they're getting over that fear, the urban fear that the black people are aggressive and angry. They're getting past that, knowing that we have a reason to defend our employment, defend the money we make from there, defend our lifestyle, that we're not there for that purpose. You know, so again, as Kanla said, we can project friendliness where we know the person that's coming to the elevator probably has an inbuilt, if it's the son of all those people that lynch, you know, black people all this time, they still think, oh, this is what we are. I have a friend that I said, you are one of those that are tolerating blacks. And he was very angry. He was very upset. How do I say that? So let me explain to you. Every time we talk about this diversity, you are totally against it. Let me ask you a question. You know my friend who's white, who probably has children that has developmental issues. Do you know this DVI that they are calling out will affect them?
Correct.
And they started to wonder. But the target was black, but they cut it all across. So why don't you see people for the content of their character, not the color of their skin? Why you tolerate? So there are people that they've just been built up. Their intrinsic, you know, thinking is the black is evil. Even among this young generation, they are just not behind us. It has to be maybe middle or your age, my age, up and a little below. The new ones coming are really better. Let's face it. Now they might be wild with all kinds of things. They most of them are colorblind.
Yes.
I could be wrong. How they interact with the internet, how they relate to each other, how they talk. Many of them are colorblind. They've gone past that. But there's a bunch of the children of people of our age, you know, especially maybe 40s, 50s, who still have that bias because of their desire that they should be having everything. So they see you at the workplace and think you are a threat. You shouldn't have that job. Yeah, there are people like that. You disarm them. You just disarm them by just being, you know, nice. So now they pay back by being nice. Hi, Miss Harlan, what floor are you going? You know, when I get in the elevator and somebody comes in, I hit the button for them. Exactly. And every time I get in there, somebody hit the button. They ask me what floor. Too. They hit the button for me. So we can't get in there and just be totally immersing ourselves, frowning.
Yeah, maybe I didn't explain it. Where I work, we are so many. I work in a building where like 25,000. The biggest brick building in the world.
Oh my God!
But not everyone there is like that, though.
Oh yes, okay.
That example.
Correct.
There are a few of them that are like that. So, but the ones, but there are some very good ones. Very good ones. Like my department where I work, I think they're probably well, it used to be two of us. Now we have a third black person. So we are three now. And trust me, there are some people in that branch, just the fact that we are three now, they are like a little intimidated.
Oh yeah. So that always does feel. And it's not you, it's not us. We don't look like pit bulls.
Oh no, we don't.
Evil. They are evil that's tormenting them. I disagree with the brother-in-law we don't look like pit bulls to them. Those people you talk about, it is their evil that's tormenting them. So when they see a black person, or guilt and fear come of them because of maybe the evil they've done.
Yeah.
Like I said before, right? Somebody sent me a question. Said, I need this help. And I said, oh, do this. Oh, that's dumb. How can you do that when I can see the PC? He probably saw my name and thought it's black. And I explained what he needs to do, and he did it. When the colleagues saw what he did, they nailed him. When I came back, they said, oh, he's the dumb one who didn't know he's talking to an expert. He could have asked, how can I do this?
Exactly.
If your computer is blank screen, you can't see nothing. And I say, tell me something. You could have said, oh, how do I do that? They say you should have asked him. Because there's a way with that black screen, you can say something. 2 words he will give you. And I gave him 2 words, dot, backslash. Oh, and then he was shocked. So it was his bias to think, definitely it's an African or black person talking to me. What? So so those people there, and then they told me that they have concerns with him with his competency as a scientist. So you see, they have their issues, and they put that issue on people they see. But don't let it push you down. Just be nice to them. See if you can bring them in. But we don't look like pit bulls. We look more beautiful than a lot of other races. They know how we handle age. They tell me all the time, they say, what's your age? You're going to say, no. And then they show me the person in the office who's that age. See how it's literally drooling, and you still look this way. They say black people, all their age, better. They don't say we are pit bulls. No. I totally disagree with that. But those few, we can't, those few,
Brother
we cannot leave them out. Yes.
Brother Shaggy, I mean, I understand let me take it further. Thank you for that. That imagery of a pit bull is just one example of how they were raised and what they were taught.
That's it.
Educated about who a black person is.
Yeah,
it's a black person that said it. It's a black person, or is your brother-in-law white?
No, but we have blacks as well. I mean, in as much as we are talking about the bias, it's inclusive. We have other blacks that are biased too. So if this black person too was raised by a Caucasian or the other race, and they are taught to hate themselves and hate other blacks, which is what we know. We see others. So yes, they can do that. So that is how they perceive, because that is what they know. Some see it in different imageries that are presented of who truly we are. And that is why sometimes you see someone look at you like you're nothing. And it's very easy for them to just address you sometimes disrespectfully, discriminate, and do whatever they feel that their privileges bring them. But ignorant of the fact that, or limited of the fact that it is their unconscious bias and sometimes the intentional bias that they have grown up with, what they have been exposed with, or even sometimes they are directed to do. In the case of a system where we have the systems that are there to ensure that they continue this bias.
So, Sister Irene, you asked the question.
Yes.
If you listen to what Sister Pat, Derek, who said, be in business, unfortunately, we can't all be in MLM. You got to have a job, we have a career, we have a profession, and we're doing just fine. He said one of the ways to get past that, like Sister Pat also mentioned, is your excellence and projecting ourselves.
Correct.
You know something, right? In that conference, hit it. You say something to your colleague and they say, oh, that's very good. Find a way, and we're in a good time now. If you have an idea to express, do me a favor, before you go to that conference, that meeting with your boss or anybody, say, ChatGPT, how do I express in the corporate environment? You've given words and pronouns that when you say it to yourself, you will feel good. I wanted to meet somebody, and in my typical British way, I put the word together and sent it to my son. When my son sent me a 3-line statement, I felt I was on top of the world. I sent it to the person, they called me for a meeting. So ChatGPT is helping, AI is helping to frame the word the way that don't worry about your accent. They will hear those words, and they will freeze and then record or type it out to go look at what it means and call you back. And then when you go for that meeting, when you go for that end of the year review, they will give you far exceeding requirements.
Correct.
That's all we need to do to just project ourselves. Because in African way, oh, you don't sell yourself. You know, they know you. No, they don't know you. You have to say it. And there's a better way to say it for us now with this ChatGPT. It will give you the frame to put there to say the words that are used in the corporate environment, that they are versatile with because it's their first language, not our first language. And once you use those keywords, those key principles, believe me, they'll know where you are. They know where to place you, especially in your profession. It's your profession that is difficult for somebody to pay you below a man because they know how important you are in the field. You tell them how much you want to earn, and when they say no, you go elsewhere. So again, your question: how do we go past it? Hey, express yourself. Let them know the content, of who they're dealing with, and make it bold. Because the salary difference comes when they do those review. They advertise the range they're paying, and you go there, and if you don't get the top range, you're not taking the job. But then the next year, it's gonna be you and the other race going for a review. They'll give you 3%, I reject not. The other person will take 5%. How do I get it 5 and not get it 3? When we just project ourselves, like Sister Pat said, we have to be able to make known what we know and not be timid, which is again our own cultural bias to ourselves, our cultural upbringing. Don't sell yourself. No, you have to sell yourself. That's my answer to that. And things are getting better. Honestly, all what I'm talking about, things are getting better.
No, absolutely. It's getting better. Thank you, Brother Shaggy. Sister Irene, also, if like what you're describing is another good example of what we know that happens is whether you are a Black, whether man or woman, successful in business, right? Do you still know that you are still judged? They still look at you as if you are not qualified, you're not intelligent, you don't know what you're doing, and your business is a fraud?
Oh, yeah.
They always tend to look at you in that case. Even when you come, you go, we know of incidences where you go to the bank, you are trying to do business with a bank, a financial institution, and you are turned down because of who you are. But if it were someone of a different race coming, they would have attended to them. Or even while successful in your business, and you're trying to go out to do your business, has anyone have the experience how you're treated when you're flying out? Successful Black men or women trying to board a flight first class.
Yeah. Even the hostesses, they don't even
even the hostesses. It's like, so would you I would not judge them or be quick to perceive them, but based on their actions, what they do, I can be able, with my knowledge of unconscious bias, I can be able to determine exactly where they are coming from. Because some of them are acting intentionally, and some of them you see that it is unconscious. It comes across, and they don't believe you. Why would they not believe you? Is there anything different between a successful Black business person and a successful white business person? Success is success. Fairness is fairness. Win is win. So, but why is there always that tendency to not believe one and then believe the other, or work with one and not work with the other, or tend to find ways to legitimize the other, but then you recognize the other? It comes back to, again, what you know, what you were raised to know about the other. And that is how those blueprints, that framework of unconscious bias comes across, where to one person, that intersectionality, it is okay. But when it comes to the other person, as you dive, identifying who truly they are, their identity, all the different things that make them who they are, their framework, then you start having questions, and then your bias comes in, and you limit yourself, you prevent yourself from truly identifying and knowing them and appreciating them for who they are, their talent, their skills, bringing them into the field. And if you are in a network of work with them, paying them fair wages. So all of these things intersect together. And so for educational purposes, awareness, the more we continue to understand and appreciate these things, the better it is going to be for us in our work environment and in our businesses, and particularly as we prepare to get into the new step in our business while waiting for our CEO. So this brings me to the conclusion. Thank you for your participation. I hope that by us having this conversation, sharing these experiences, it's going to help us a long way as we continue this journey and being able to identify these biases that we have and be much better individuals, whether in our individual businesses together as team colleagues, together in our platforms as we work in leadership, and also in our personal lives. So thank you so much. That is the end of my presentation. These are my reference for today. So thank you, and over to you, our moderator, Queen Irene.
Wow. Thank you, Queen Kanla. You know what? I believe in testimonies and prophecies. Like, do we see how our mindset today and this topic kind of like complemented each other? That tells you that it was meant to be. Yeah, while we wait, all these things that we are listening, that we are talking about, discussing, listening to our speakers talk to us about, they're preparing you for the future. When you know these things, you know what? Once you know this, whatever that the world does for you, whatever that your job or the other race or sex or whatever do for you, because you understand it and you know that it's unconscious bias or whatever it is, you're not going to get depressed because, oh, I was in that job and they're paying my co-worker more than they pay me and I do a lot of more work. But because you already understand that and you know that, oh, these things are existing and that, well, you really can't change it. There's not much you can do about it. You're going to be fine. There will be nothing like depression because of that. And I always tell myself, I do my work as if I'm doing it for God, not for my human masters to, appreciate me or reward me for it. I know that at the end, I'm going to get my reward from the man above. When you have that in your mind, just do the work. Working as a nurse, I do my work, not because I want my boss to see it and reward me or whatever. I do it for the outcome of what I'm doing, the outcome of the patient, the outcome of the goals of the my department and all that. And well, if my boss sees it and feel like, well, I can reward her for it, fine. But I don't do it for that. Once you already have that in mind and you're doing your work, you're not going to get depressed because they're paying you less, or just do it because this is my job. I do it with joy. Some people don't understand why I'm always happy. I do my work. My work is done on time and I'm fine, happy, smile all the time. In meetings, you just do it. Talk with your head high up. Don't feel like, oh, because I'm Black, I'm African, my name is different or whatever. No, I don't think that way. I know my job. I say it confidently. Don't look, don't let any question embarrass you. And even if it does, if it's something that you don't know, you have a way of making them know that, you know, yeah, I don't have this answer now, but I'll get back to you. Don't sit there and baffle or say something that's going to come out wrong. So, yeah, there are some of these things we cannot change, but if you know that, you will be fine. And don't let it get in your nerves or get in your bones. So thank you very much, Queen Kanla. Like I said, this is preparing us. It is preparing us for life, for the future, for our day-to-day activities, our day-to-day encounters with others, our day-to-day activities. And it will be costly if we had to go to school to get this done, to get trained for this, but we're getting it here for free out of love. So thank you very much, Queen Kanla, for all the work that you put into the research that you did to bring this to us. And thank you everybody for participating. I was sitting here and listening, and I'm sure you guys saw me. I was going like this and going like this and listening. I'm like, trying to visualize it, how things go on, even at where I work, and how I interact with people, and how what I've gone through since I came from Cameroon to the US. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm still here, no depression. Let's all take it that way. So thank you very much. So before I know that we already discussed this. I don't know if we still have any questions. Sorry, I was talking like I'm, So anybody have any other questions? Anything you need to ask our speaker for today before we let her say the last word? All right, I don't see any hand up. I see that we had a good discussion and we probably, I mean, it was clear what she explained. And a lot of us here, there are no kids here, so we have been through it and we understand it. So, so before we close it for the day, I will just give Queen Kanla the opportunity to give us a last word, closing remarks before we end that topic.
Oh, yes, I think we have already said, oh, sorry. Can Oyeke, please, can you please stop your video? You need to look decent before you come on video. Thank you.
Don't worry, I stopped it. I don't play.
All right, Queen, you have anything to say before we?
No, I think we've already really like elaborated. We've said all that we need to say. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the participation. And I look forward to us taking it to the next series. I know I had said this is a conclusion, but guess what? It's like there's always something that comes up and you're like, okay, it's not yet finished. So I'm already thinking of maybe the next series we head into intentional bias. And we take that aspect of it, so we bring it full circle, and then hopefully with one more series, and then we can round up, because all along we've been talking about unconscious. So now let us take the other half of it, and then we bring it full circle. So that will be the next series, which is going to dwell on that aspect, and then we can look forward to 2 more, and then we round it up. So thank you all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. All right. I guess that's it for the day. So I will hand it back over to Dr. Derek. Dr. Derek, over to you, sir.
For the updates, right?
Yep.
All right. Mercy. That was a wonderful, awesome presentation there, Queen Kanla. Mercy. All right. And I tell you, the conversation just kept flowing, But listen, you and I are not going to stop it. All right? You could have ball a lick of blood. Still not going to stop it. Biases is based on a person's perception, and you cannot get rid of person's perception. Black is bias against black. White is also bias against white. Indian against Indian. And it goes on for varied reasons, for varied, belief system, etc., etc. Atheists is biased against Christians. The list goes on and on and on and on. From once a person have a choice and we are not living in love for each other, then there will be biases. All right. Until we can live in love with each other, then hey, good if we can live in love. But we cannot at this time. So I think that will be reserved until Christ come back again and we go live in heaven. And when we're living in heaven, those who make it to heaven, I guess, will live that blissful moment of total bliss, love, and happiness. But that is to come. All right. So for this time, if you need to have equal pay or equal earnings, then you got to do a business. That's the only place. And Robert Kiyosaki bring us to that awareness in cash flow quadrant. If you're working a job, that will be it. If you're working self-employment, it's a little better. But when you get over on the right-hand side of the quadrant, then business is where things start to look up. And then when you're an entrepreneur investor, where you invest large sum of money, like $500,000, then it's just what the stock or whatever you invest in. The money is what speak, and every money green, all money green in the US, and all money is maybe of different color or what have you, but it's there's no bias with money. Money is of different color, different shape, different size, but there's no bias with money. You just have to find the equivalent, right? So if they say euro, then you have to just find the equivalent to the euro. If they say US, you just have to find the equivalent. If they say British pound, then you have to find the equivalent. But there's no biases with money. So, when you become an investor, then, you're good to go. All right, good to go. But business, then there's no biases with business. No bias with a woman, with a man, without, you're fat, you're slim, you're ugly, quote unquote, because there's nobody ugly. You're pretty like First Lady Dr. Benny. You're good to go same way. It doesn't matter. All right. So business, get into business. That's what we are here for, to get into business. All right. So please get into business, and so you can remove yourself from the biases of the job. Because that's where the biases is, the job, right? Mostly. Okay. And so as we look at what is happening, oh mercy, when we look at what is happening for us in passive, we recognize that if you look in your OES, then you will find that there is some awesome updates, especially the results of the survey. So let us quickly take a look at the results of our survey, right? So for those who might not be able to access their OES for whatever reason, because yes, you do have persons not able to access their OES for whatever reason, unfortunately, whether internet issues or whatever it is. And so let me just share with us that information, right? Okay, so if you remember, the first question was, how committed are you to reach our big, bold, beautiful, shared dream? 98.6% of persons that got involved in the sharing of the survey, or the answering of these questions on the survey, we are fully committed, fully committed. I want to see this through, however much long it takes. Fully committed. All right. The second question was, how long are you willing to stay committed to achieving this dream? And of course, 93.3%, I am with you, Ashmafare, no matter the time frame, right? I am with you. And then the last question, number 3, to reach our destination, the vehicle we have been using may not be enough. Which best describe your view? And 87.8% says that I believe that we need a new, strong vehicle to get there. All right. And of course, there was some statistical graph of the trends. For the first statistical graph, of course, is where most of the information came from, which you saw that most persons are using mobile, which is over 5 million people are using the mobile, right? And you might ask, how is it 5 million people answering, or over 5 million people are answering, when there is only 1,400,000, thereabout, for 1.4 million founders. Remember, for about 8 months that we opened the floodgates and persons could actually come and purchase OConnect, right? And have access to OConnect. And that was for about 8 months. And so you can see that a flood of persons just within 8 months came in and was moving on passive. All right. So that is where that amount come from. You also see it in this, that most of those persons came from India. Over 4 million persons that was actually coming out of India that actually did the survey. And, this is a pie chart, as they might call it, of what device was being used, right? Whether on the desktop or the mobile. And the biggest one, of course, is mobile devices. And the last graph is telling us what web browser was used. And of course, the largest amount came from the Chrome mobile. right? Chrome Mobile. So that is a breakdown of what took place on the survey that Ashma Faris shared with us so that we could actually see exactly what took place. So Ashma Faris said it's time to move forward. It is now time to move forward, right? The negativity of the past is behind us, and there is no need to look back. So let us remove the negativity of the past, right? That chapter is closed. And as we know, that's because the SEC has closed everything, and we are all in the clear, especially his wife, that was also finger pointing at her also. So it wasn't just Ashma Faris, but also his wife that was receiving the brunt of the discrimination. All right. And the bias, the brunt of the bias from all over. Okay, so all of that is behind us. So let us pull back the curtains and reveal some astonishing details you haven't seen before. As we have stated in other communications, the response of our first survey was nothing short of extraordinary. Now, we'll provide you with the inside look at the specific results, and that is what I just went over a while ago. And so, therefore, come September, right, which starts tomorrow, in the morrow, the 1st of September is what? Is Monday, tomorrow. All right, so come September, I'm not saying that come tomorrow, but September starts tomorrow. So don't misquote me, right? Keep it in context, right? I'm just letting you know that September starts tomorrow. So come September, right? As Ashma Faris is telling us that that we will be having sometime in September. We will be having a live global update of which details about these applications and the new directions we are taking will be announced. So stay tuned that in September, it will be a month to remember, where, of course, we will have a global live update coming. So together, we are moving forward with clarity, strength, and purpose. So stay tuned for the official date and time for this global update event in September. I thank you all very much. Really appreciate. And over to you, Queen Irene.
Very exciting. So that's why I always say this is my bestest item on our webinars agenda. Bestest. All right. Thank you, Dr. Derek. You know what? Sometimes even when I attend the meetings, I don't get it the way when we come back home and get it explained. It makes more sense than when we were actually live present in the webinars. So thank you very much, Dr. D. You know, our CEO had said only God can stop us. And as long as God is still on the throne, nothing, absolutely nothing can stop us. It doesn't matter if we change the name, if we change the location, if we change whatever, the products or something, God is still in that mission to take us to where he intentionally had it planned, and nothing, absolutely nothing is going to change that plan. So thank you, Dr. Derek. I am so excited. And I know a lot of people don't attend these webinars and missing this. They will listen to this later. But you know, when you hear it live, it's different. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Maybe after the updates and let's see if anyone has any questions. Do we have any questions? Anyone want to express how they feel after listening to the updates? All I see is smiles. All the smiles. I guess we're just looking, hopefully. All right. No questions. All right, people. I guess we'll just.
I think we did it so much that we even went way over and beyond. So it's like we've.
All right. So thank you all for being here today. We always sacrifice our Sundays to come here and listen. And you know, we are filled to the fullest today with what our speaker had for us, and then the updates and our general discussion. And so we're gonna just encourage everyone that all the webinars within the week are still going on. Please endeavor to attend, and you will get more updates and more to hope for as we wait. And since we don't have any questions, we don't have anything else, I think we're gonna call it a day for today. We just want to apologize that because of technical issue, we didn't. Oh, did we have YouTube running? I know it didn't start initially. Okay. So we had it going. Okay. So I just want to also thank those who joined us on the YouTube. Thank you for always being there. We appreciate you. We hope that as we're here excited, we are all excited since we can't see you, you know, showing all the waving your hands like I'm doing and smiling and shaking your heads. But we know you are all doing it wherever you are. We want to appreciate you, and we thank you for always being here. Thank you, everybody. And next week will be another date. And please come ready with your pens and papers to learn. While we wait, we have to learn and prepare ourselves mentally, physically, and emotionally, health-wise, because we have to be alive to enjoy what is coming. So thank you all so much. And we're going to close YouTube as we play our closing signature tune and close the webinar for today. So thank you very much all on YouTube. And Dr. Derek, if you close YouTube, then you can play our signature tune.
Okay, wonderful. Peace, blessings, and enough love to you. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate. And at this time, yes, there is about 320 persons on YouTube. So yes, there are persons on YouTube watching
300?
the biases that is going on. All right. Okay, so don't worry about that. So anyway, thank you all very much for joining us on the varied YouTube platform, and also on here live, our queens and kings. Just want you to remember that come in tomorrow, the 1st of September 2025. We do have Queen Miriam with Mindset Monday. And of course, weekdays, Monday to Friday, you have the Yvonne duo, Queen Dr. Yvonne and Queen Yvonne Finn. Hopefully, she will be much better by tomorrow at 1 p.m. and weekdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time with One Nation. And of course, Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m., you will have Deep Dive, Globally Changing Lives. And in the morning of Thursday, then join O Passion, Singapore, Malaysia, there at 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then, of course, Sunday, you can join us once again for a wonderful, invigorating dream team as people dream and dream and dream. For those who are on YouTube, thank you all very much. But in a few seconds, we will be closing down YouTube. And we thank you very much for joining us there. Really appreciate, really appreciate, really, really appreciate. And so at this time, we just are going to say take care. Oh mercy. Need the other mouse that is on the ground. Don't know how it reached the ground. But thank you very much, YouTube. Take care, and you have yourself a wonderful week.